In today's video, we're going to be looking at Adobe Camera Raw 13.2, and in particular, we're going to look at the Enhance feature. Let's dive right in. Okay, so this is us now in Adobe Bridge, and it's one of the Adobe packages that I don't use too often at all, but for this video it's going to work just great. So I've selected the 7 images at the top. For this demonstration I've taken 2 exposure stacked images from Lightroom, I have taken 2 drone shots as well, and I've also taken 3 photographs from my mobile phone, which is a Samsung S20 Plus. So we'll see how they get on. I've selected them. I'm going to right click and open with Camera Raw. Adobe Camera Raw is one of the features that I use quite a lot, whether I'm opening the images up originally and if I'm not cataloguing via Lightroom, I'll use Adobe Camera Raw just to bring whatever images it is I want in. I also use it during my editing process. I'll bring from Lightroom into Photoshop, and then I will edit in Photoshop and then Luminar, and then bring it back into Photoshop, and then just to finish it off, if I'm not taking it back into Lightroom, I'll finish it off in Camera Raw. So it's one thing that I use quite a bit. If you don't use Camera Raw at all, you'll see that it is very similar to Lightroom, and I mean very similar to Lightroom. There's a lot of things in here that are already in Lightroom. Another thing I'd like to point out is that the Enhance feature isn't in Lightroom yet, but I can see that coming very, very soon, so that's quite exciting as well. I'll start with the drone images, and as you can see, this is straight from a Mavic Pro 2, something I don't own anymore, but this is straight from a Mavic Pro 2, and just for the purposes of this, I'm going to pull the highlights back, and then I'm going to lift the shadows to give you a better idea of what's happening. So what I'm going to do is just show you the simplicity of the Enhance feature and how it affects the images. So if I right click down here, I have Enhance. So the pop-up window appears and we have Enhance Preview, and Super Resolution is already ticked, and it doubles image resolution, ideal for large displays and prints, and it tells you the estimated completion time for this. So if we go for this image here and it says Enhanced, so that shows us the enhanced effect. If I hold down, that's before or without Enhance, and then with Enhanced. So I'm going to click Enhance. So now we have the enhanced version. Right now, as you can see, we're just working at 8-bit for this. So right now you can see that the drone shot here was 19.9 megapixels. If I choose the enhanced version, it's jumped up to 79.6. So what I'll do is I'll zoom into the castle a bit just so that you can see what's happening. So we have that there, and the zoom is 37.4. Let's take it into 100% just to see what's happening with it. So there we have it at 100%, and I can just move around and you can see the image there. And I'll just take that back to fit on screen. So we have the 2 versions now, 19.9 megapixels and 79.6 megapixels. I'll do the same for this one as well. So you get the idea of how this works. I'm just going to push the shadows and bring back the highlights slightly. This is actually a panorama using the drone. It's unedited, as you can see we've got a bit of flare there, but this is the panorama using the drone. So what I'm going to do, right click, Enhance, and it's going to tell me the estimated completion time, 20 seconds. Don't worry, you won't have to wait that long. So here we have the original version, and it tells you 8-bit here, it is 54.3 megapixels. If I jump onto the enhanced version, it's now 217 megapixels. And I'm just going to zoom in here a bit. This is the first time I've done this. And that, yes, I can see noise. I could deal with the noise later though, but that is now a massive file size. So if this kind of thing's going to happen with these images, what's going to happen with the phone and what's going to happen with raw DNG files? So I'll just jump to the phone and I'll fit that in screen, And I'll just do these very quickly just to see. That's it in at 100%. You can see it is quite soft because it's a phone image. I'll take it back to fit in view, right click, enhance. And it tells me the estimated completion time for this one is 4 seconds, enhance. So at the moment, the original is sitting at 12.2 megapixels. This is now sitting at 48 megapixels. Let's zoom in just to see the difference between the two of these. I'm going to bring that down to there. So we'll look at this in particular because there are more details in here. The grass was blowing around when I took the photograph. So let's just have a look at the details here. So that's at 60.1%. Let's take this one into 60.1. That was at 60.1. So let's take it back down at 60.7. So if I place that there and then take that one there, you can see the difference in size already. Let's just very quickly click through the rest. So the other two phone images are done, and there's the original of the grass, which is 12.2, which I expected it. Now we have the enhanced version at 48 megapixels. Let's zoom in here and let's check that one as well. 30.7, 30.7. So you can see the difference. Let's take the lighthouse. The original is 12.2, which we expected. And now we have 48 megapixels. But remember, once you've done this, you can go in and edit. So I can pull the highlights back here. I don't need to lift the shadows in that one. Probably bring them down, push the contrast slightly. So you can see where you can take these. So let's jump over to the Nikon files and see what it does with them. So if I go to the first one and I'll just fit this in view, fit in view. We have that image there. I'm just going to right click on the image because enhance is down here as well. I don't have to get down there to click enhance. So I'll just click enhance and click enhance. Okay, that took around 15-20 seconds to do that. So let's just jump into that. First of all, it's 32.7 megapixels. It is now 131 megapixels. So let's zoom in here. So that's us at 26%. Let's jump back here and you can see the actual difference in the size. Let's jump into the last one and I will just right click enhance, and just go for it with this one as well. That again was about 15, 20, 25 seconds at the most. I didn't time that one, but let's see the difference that this has made. So right now it's at 45.2. It's now at 181 megapixels. Now that's some size of file for saving, so I think you probably will need, if you're going to do this quite a bit, if you need to, I think you're going to need an external hard drive to save these two. If you don't currently use Camera Raw, it's actually worth considering having a look at whether you use it via the filter option in Photoshop or whether you use it as a standalone single image editor and then into Photoshop. It's worth looking at. But this new enhance feature looks as if it'll be really good. I'm really taken with what it can do to the drone images and the mobile phone shots as well. Apart from increasing the size of the RAW files, or in this case the DNG files, I really like what it can do with the lower megapixel files. 45.2. I don't print really large anyway, but if I ever needed to, I know where to go now. Hopefully you enjoyed this relatively quick demonstration of the new enhance feature in Camera Raw 13.2. Another video this week is going to be a software review as well, and then we'll go back to the vlogs that are outside. I'm still editing that one at the moment, so hopefully you'll stay with me for them. Thanks again for watching. Remember, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.